and she arrived to us in as much comfort as she could be at the time. When we went to the operating room, I elected to basically cut the arrow flush with the skin. This would allow us to turn her onto her back, and we completed a trauma laparotomy where we identified the following injuries related to the arrow. First, there was penetration of the left chest through the lung, through the diaphragm, through the spleen, through the posterior and anterior walls of the stomach, the front and back of the stomach, and the end of the arrow landed in the left lateral segment of the liver. We were able to, with the excellent help of our crew in the operating room, show every inch of the trajectory of this arrow and to control all of the damage that it inflicted on these organs. This was sequentially just closing the holes in the stomach, placing a drain in the left chest to allow for safe removal of the arrows in case there was air leaking from the lung, closure of the hole in the diaphragm, and controlling of any bleeding from the spleen. I'm happy to say that we were able to preserve all of her organs in her laparotomy. She was in the operating room for about 2.5 hours. Things went well. We had minimal blood loss. And after surgery, she was actually taken to our general surgical ward where she's currently convalescing. This is a team effort, and I want to thank everyone from the EMS. I've been an EMT before. It's not an easy thing to see a projectile like this in a child in the field. They handled it perfectly. The care in Fond du Lac was excellent. I'd like to thank our staff, both in the trauma room and in the operating room, for delivering excellent care and really giving us a good chance at a full recovery for Ariana. Her current condition is fair. We project about a 1 to 2 week stay in the hospital while we wait for her intestines to heal from her operation. She's already been ambulating out of bed, walking, and is talking to us. And she's done quite well. We've had really minimal blood loss through this whole event. And I'll now take any questions that you have for me.
Will Ariana have any long-lasting injuries from this? Are we expecting anything after she gets
The only, I don't expect any long-lasting injuries that will affect her function. There are a few small risks related to a previous operation which anyone would incur who's had an abdominal surgery.
Dr. Densmore, talk about how unusual this type of a surgery was.
Well, we frequently do laparotomies for trauma here at Children's Hospital, usually in penetrating injuries for gunshot wounds. It's very, very rare to have an arrow injury. I've never seen it. It's a different mechanism than what we typically see. However, our experience dealing with other penetrating injuries such as gunshot wounds and stabs allowed us to care for Ariana.
How lucky is she to be alive?
I would say very lucky to be alive. Obviously unlucky to be hit by this arrow. Had we changed the trajectory of that arrow by as little as 2 centimeters, this could have been a very bad outcome.
Laura, what's your response to all of this?